What's going on, guys? Celtic CC here. So it's been a couple of days since the update, and I've had a couple of days to get used to this warden system. And honestly, my opinion of it, if anything, it's got worse. I've had a realization that it's actually a lot worse than I even thought when I did my angry rant video. It's also been interesting to see some of the feedback since I made that video. People agreeing with me. No one sort of argued with me and said, no, I think this warden system's great. And there's been some other videos brought out, and I've been reading comments on other YouTube videos, and it seems to be, I'm talking to people in my guild and things like that, and it seems to be, a universal opinion that this warden system's terrible, and it's even at the stage where people are quitting the game because of it. So basically, it's damage control for IGG, and I thought I'd do a video which hopefully will be a bit more chill than the angry rant and be a bit more constructed. And basically, I'm going to give my opinions on what I think needs to be changed. And also, like, my opinion is there's a little bit of hope at the moment, because I'm comparing this. This is like a crisis, I feel, for CC right now, for Castle Clash, this warden system. It's an actual, like, game damaging. People are leaving the game. People have stopped playing Crisis right now. And I feel like IGG are in damage control. And the last time anything like this happened, if you can remember when Castle Crisis first came out, which, the irony in the name, obviously. When Castle Crisis first came out, at first it was everyone had to donate 10 million mana and 10 million gold, which had the effect of meaning that no one had any resources on the base, so like raiding became an absolute nightmare. And I remember during that crisis that people left my guild and stopped playing and things like that, and there was a big backlash in the game. And IGG's response was to give out free gold and mana packs and things like that, and then eventually they updated the game. So I'm hopeful that I feel like this crisis is potentially even worse than that. And I'm hopeful that IGG are going to sort it out. And one of the hopes that's come out today is actually with Hero Collector, because we've had the update with Hero Collector before with Android, and normally we get like an Ice Demon and a Thunder God now. And today it's been changed to a Frost Witch with 40,000 merits, and that speaks volumes to me, because the Frost Witch is really easy to roll. You can roll it with honor badges. And for them to be handing out, a 40,000 merit reward from rolling a Frost Witch, that speaks volumes to me. That says to me that IGG recognise something's wrong, and they're in the process of trying to fix this. So I would say absolutely, if you're thinking of quitting the game, give it a bit of time first, see if they fix this update. So this is my opinion on what needs fixing, okay? And I'll explain why I think it's actually worse than what I said in the Angry Rant video. First of all, right, the Warden's blessing side of things on the profits. No need to change anything here. Maybe they could up the stats to be a bit higher than they are, possibly. But as it stands, this is a very positive thing. It's all good. Giving heroes a crit and attack, dodge, boost, all that. That's fine. That's a positive thing, so nothing needs to be changed here. Where my opinion has completely changed, though, and I have actually got a fellow YouTuber called Sage. I recommend you go and see his rant video, because it's a really good video, and he actually focuses more on the subdue side of things. I'll leave a link in the description below for his video. I recommend you go and watch it. And he had a great analogy of this system. He says now it's turned into rock, paper, scissors. How brawlers are better than prophets, and prophets are better than saints, saints are better than brawlers. It's turned it into a rock, paper, scissors system. And he brought up the great point of how he spent all this money on Lavanica, and he doesn't want it being nerfed against like a Grim Fiend or a Death Knight or something like that. She doesn't like it. It's pretty simple then. I think the way you sort this out, and what IGG need to do, is just completely scrap the subdues. Just get rid of them completely. just take them out so they don't exist anymore. So all this like nerfing and boosting of heroes against the other whatever group they were with the warden, it just doesn't need to be a thing. Just get rid of it completely. What they got to realise, like, people when they got their favourite heroes, they aren't focusing, oh great, he's boosted against whoever. They're focusing on the fact, oh, he's nerfed against that hero, is it? Like I'm looking at my Skeletica and thinking, well great, he's going to be nerfed against a Demogorgon now. Skeletica's a better dragon. Does that suddenly make him crap against a Demogorgon? Like, now I've had more time to think about it. Yeah, this needs to go completely. It's a terrible idea. Just needs to go. Okay? Right, so that's the first thing they need to do. The second thing, right, and this is where I was more focused on during my Angry Rant video, because basically my raiding team doesn't get a profit effect, and it was just really frustrating me. And it hasn't just been my raiding team. I noticed it in Fortress Feud. I've had it in one of my Lost Battlefield teams. I've noticed it coming up in expeditions as well. Like, so this brawler or profit effect, this brawler profit or what's the other one, Saint effect, doesn't always happen if you've got a 50-50 split. Right? So I talked about this in the Angry Rant video about how they need to sort this out, and I said that, if it's a 50-50 split, so let's say you've got a raiding team of 6 heroes and 3 are brawlers and 3 are saints, you then have to choose which one you want. Do you want the brawler or the saint? I realise that there's an issue with that, in that it slows the game down slightly, because it involves an extra mechanic of having to click on something which tells you which brawler you want for that team, and it might not be a feasible thing to do, especially for things like Fortress Feud and expeditions and things like that. It'll just slow the game down. So I can understand that maybe that's not the way it needs to work, but 100% it can't be in the game that teams are nerfed and can't have a brawler or a prophet or a saint effect. They can't have a warden effect at all. So I think the solution to it is, if you've got a 50-50 split, so I'll use that example of 3 brawlers and 3 saints, it's random. Instead of it being nerfed, that team gets no warden effect whatsoever, and they get, when you raid, I'll just show you it here, when you do a raid, you get that little 3 triangle thing in the corner, So that basically indicates a nerf team. Get rid of that completely. That's never a thing. So that doesn't exist anymore. There's no more nerf teams, right? Just basically, if it's a 50-50 split, the punish is kind of like, instead of it being a nerf thing, the punish is you don't know which warden you're going to get. It's going to be random. So in this case, I got 3 saints and 3 brawlers. Each time I raid or do a Guild Wars run or something like that, it's either going to be saint or brawler, and you don't know which one. So then it's like, it's a bit more of a positive move towards influencing. It's like saying, instead of, you choose that group of 6 heroes, they are permanently handicapped in the game. Instead of saying that, they're saying, well, they're not necessarily handicapped, it's just, it might not be the effect you prefer, and you'll have to be a bit more thoughtful about how you raid and stuff like that. You might have to, keep trying a Guild Wars. That's the only problem with it. It still sucks, because, like, say you keep doing a Guild Wars run, having to redo your Guild Wars run till you get the profit you want. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it's the only way they can do it, because to have like teams in the game which are nerfed permanently, and those group of heroes are going to always be nerfed, and it's always going to be issued, they'll never have the warden effect. It's terrible. It's such a bad mechanic for the game, and it's damaging to the game. And the other issue IGG got to realise with it, and this is something which came up with someone in my guild. Someone in my guild actually asked me, why aren't the wardens working all the time? And IGG got to realise some of this. You get casual players of this game who aren't going through this and checking it all with a fine tooth comb. They're just kind of saying, oh, we got wardens now, great. Oh, how come it's not working when I do this? Oh, it must be broken. So people are just assuming like it's a broken system and it's not working. Why they can't understand why the warden isn't coming up with certain teams, and they don't get it, right? That's not good. You don't want that. Don't want that with your game, do you, at all? That's an important point to bring up. I think that's about it, guys. Really, with it, if they just get rid of the subdues and sort it out, so this 50% thing has changed, and every team in the game, whatever you put out, is going to have some sort of warden effect. I think this will work. Then I think we will have something which has still got its major flaws compared to Artifacts. You know, I mean, it'd be great if they changed it so we could choose which heroes we put on it, but I can't see that happening. That would be fantastic, but maybe that's pushing it a bit too far. But at least if they get rid of the subdues and they change how it works with 50% heroes, 50-50 split, I think this will work definitely. So hopefully we will see this sorted out. You know, IGG do have a record of, you know, updates getting changed. You know, they don't just like, you know, put something in and then say, well, oh, that'll do. And the Castle Crisis problem we had with the donations is the perfect example of that. Just before I go though, it's got to be said, I've noticed a glitch since since the update as well, and there's this guild hub loading problem. And sometimes when I switch accounts, like this has been like this since I started the video and it hasn't changed. So there's a problem with the guild hub thing. So maybe yeah, that's another issue as well. But the Wardens need to be sorted first. That's the main thing. But guys, stay hopeful. You know, the Hero Collector, you know, that's saying a lot to me. That's saying that IGG recognises a problem, and I'm hopeful they're going to fix this Warden system. So stay positive. Don't quit the game yet. You know, I know a lot of you were doing it. Stick with it. I think they're going to sort this out, and eventually we'll say, yeah, the Warden system's not so bad actually. All right, cheers, guys.